right?
No, we're just back. We're back. Okay.
We are back.
Here we go. So we're going a little long on this Pixar thing, but we have a couple more that we want to hit, and then we've decided we're going to do a second episode because we love Sarah so much. We have to have her back.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And we'll report
they want me back.
What?
I do want you back.
We want you
We'll
back.
report back with Finding Dory next week.
Yes. So we'll finish it off, and then we'll do the review of Finding Dory. But we finished up the last one we were talking about.
Speaking of Finding Dory.
Yes. Good segue. Finding Nemo. The original. The OG. This is another interesting thing with Finding Nemo. Andrew Stanton?
Mm-hmm.
Stanton.
He, again, this is another person who was an animator who worked at
writer.
Pixar.
He wrote Toy Story, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2.
But again, never directed anything. So this is another, and it's funny because Monsters, Inc. was such a big success. And, obviously it's from a new director, but they have all of these videos of them like celebrating Monsters Inc. It made so much money, and then they're like, "But no pressure at all, Stanton. Like you'll do fine."
How nerve-wracking that must be!
I know.
I would not be able to sleep. I would not be able to eat. I would just be anxiety-ridden the whole time.
Exactly.
That's kind of what you're saying. What's good about Pixar? Like they see the talent and they kind of push them out there for success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the team around them to help them. I mean, because it shows him he directed, but Lee Unrich co-directed, and he co-directed Monsters Inc., Toy Story 2. So it's like. You're the main guy, but you'll have help from your peers.
Right, and I think this is the point.
It's a team thing.
This is the point in time when they started coming out with movies more regularly, probably every year, every 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had almost two teams at a time working on things, or multiple teams working on multiple things, which is not. I don't know if that was originally anticipated. I don't ever think that's. I don't think they were ever in their wildest dreams thinking they were going to be this successful.
No.
So
when are you making that kind of money? Speaking of money, by the way, numbers guy.
Yeah, here we go.
Finding Nemo budget was $94 million.
That's low, man.
It's lower, but it made $936.7 million.
Yeah. This is the highest grossing DVD, I think, or DVD Blu-ray ever. I think even still.
I remember when it came out on DVD, I bought it.
And 99% Rotten Tomatoes, so you had that one jerk that wanted it.
Yeah, come on, man. Really, I found it boring and uninspiring.
Yeah.
I have no soul.
So this whole thing with this movie is I remember seeing it, and this also happened to be the year that I just took it upon myself to move to California. I moved in with my grandpa, but I took it upon myself to finish my high school out in California.
Yeah.
So it's the whole, you got to let them go. You got to let them experience
fish
their
out
own.
of water.
Yeah, fish out of, that just hit me so hard. I cried I think my mom cried too in the movie theaters. Like it was just that right message at that right time. Insane.
I think to this day, whenever, me and Alyssa are having like a bad day or something's bothering us, we'll just look at each other and just go, just keep swimming. It's those little things like that.
That's so cute.
No, but that's part of these movies is like, there's stuff that is not, it breaks that barrier of just being an entertaining movie. And
this is another movie for me, like some of the jokes, like
the
whale talking and like the escape, or like the funniest part in this movie where, like I said, I laugh till I cry is, he's going on this big tirade and all this kind of stuff. She's like listening, and then she like has this stupid smile on her face, like, can I help you? It's like, cause she forgot it all. It's just like, I just can't stop laughing. And every time there's beat for beat jokes in this whole entire movie.
Yeah. You would think clownfish actually aren't that funny. Yeah, just again, and I think this, each time they came out with a movie, obviously they push the technology. I think Lasseter's saying is the art pushes the technology and the technology influences the art. And so it's each step of the way, the movie just, obviously it's going to look better. That makes sense, right? But it's the storytelling actually, I think gets better, right? That it's just crazy. Now, the one thing I do know about this movie is William H. Macy was supposed to be the voice of Marlin, and I think they recorded all of his audio. And then they were like, doesn't sound good. And they went and got Albert Brooks, I think is actually the voice of Marlin. His dad.
He is, yeah.
So sucks for William H. Macy. Like, did he ever get a movie?
No, I don't think so.
Aw, he got to be Shovel Guy and Mystery Men, so.
The cooler.
But the other thing that I thought about this, because the easy comparison when I went and saw this movie, because I do remember seeing it in theaters, was Little Mermaid. We're going to go see Little Mermaid at Pixar's Little Mermaid. And I was like, nope. It's a refreshing story. Again, it's so many characters in this movie, by the way. But like
Bruce is, I think,
that
even though Finding Nemo is not one of my, it's one of my favorites, but Bruce is one of my all-time favorite characters.
You got the coffee mug here in the front, so you got to definitely give some love to Bruce.
Yeah.
But it makes it does so many good things in the movie. Like, you know, all of the voice acting at this point, like, I don't know how they know, like, that's the person for this voice. And this is like, Ellen is Dory. Like, she is the perfect.
It's just that casting. Whoever does that casting.
I mean, like, their voice casting, whoever it is, just nails it every single time. But just the motion of, like, the waves, the seaweed, everything in it is so clean.
It's actually, we just recently rewatched it, I think last week or something. And it's just it's a really calming movie to watch. Just because, like you said, like, the motion of everything and, like, the water, their underwater sounds. It's very calming to watch. I love that movie.
And again, just in Pixar form, the first 10 minutes, man, rip your heart out.
Yeah, of course they do. They're going to kill some character right off the bat. It's just like...
Just a bunch of children.
Well, they were...
No big deal.
And the mom.
And the mom.
No, the mom is it's just like, oh, and then the little... Anyway, but Andrew Stanton, the guy who was the main director, he talked about the reason he got this idea is he went to an aquarium. And, you know, if you've ever been to an aquarium, they always usually have something that's like a kind of an arch, and it's made of glass, and then it's all water above you.
Through, and you're like, wow.
And you're completely immersed in this world because you look left, you look right, you look up, don't look down, but look everywhere else. You're immersed in water. You feel like you're there. And that's where you got the idea of, like, we could do it, because at the time, I think a lot of these guys too, because they talk about a lot of these ideas were created at a cafe a long time ago, but they were like, your idea can't be executed.
Just the basics of the characters, what were created.
Right. But I'm saying the execution of that idea, and I don't, they keep, because the technology kept getting pushed, they were like, wow, I can finally do I finally get to see what was in my head in real life.
Right. And put it on computer.
And there's a scenes in the documentary where it's actually this is what's crazy. Even they talk in the documentary, they go and talk to, like, the animators, the grunts. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are geniuses, but they're still the grunts at Pixar. And you should see these notes, and they're like, oh, at the end when Nemo holds out his hand to Marlin, like, he's writing, like, the reason I animated it that way is, like, an open hand is an invitation to say, it's saying, we're I've learned, but I'm willing to, I don't want to be broken from you, but I'm different now. Like, he has all these notes about, he put his fin out. You know what I mean? Like, they understand
the human emotion.
Right, of a stupid fish fin. You know what I mean? Like, and what it symbolizes at the end of that movie when he's like, I saw a turtle and he was 150 years. It's like, even the animators, the people who are just supposed to animate the freaking movie, know how to tell a story. Like, that interview process for anybody that's there has just got to be like, so what have you contributed to the world? It's like, well, I can draw really well. That's not good enough. We need you to be able to tell the basis of human reaction and strike at every chord in every human being. It's like, yeah, I can't do that, but I can draw a fish really well. Yeah. So it just shows, like, that. Granted, Pixar at this point has probably got, like, the best talent of the best talent, and if you see their facility, like, it's
that's
a great,
amazing.
really cool place to work.
They have a cereal room that's all just cereal. They can just go in and just have whatever type of cereal you want, and everything is really open. Like, they talk about how they want to have like just an open flow communication where
it's definitely
you could be walking
Web 2.0 companies.
Yeah, like you're walking down the hall and
you
could see somebody and be like, hey, I was thinking about this idea. What do you think about that? And they're like, yeah, that's great. Or
it's like
no,
Google
let's
and
work
Apple.
on it.
And,
it's funny though, because, like, it gets made fun of. It's like it's almost like hipster, right? Oh, we don't have cubicles because we want to inspire openness and free speaking, and it's like blah, 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 blah. But it works. You know what I mean? Like, the proof is in the pudding. Like, they're
it's a little off topic, but there is this guy at Pixar who has his own bar party place, and he randomly got this office, and he noticed that there was a door. So he was like, well, what's this door over here? Let me go in. And he saw that there was a crawl space, and that the crawl space opened up into a room.
Oh, jeez.
And so he went in there, and, like, he was just like, this is amazing. Like, there's an extra room in this room. And so now that's one of the points, like, when they give, like, a tour, that's one of the highlights is they take them to this extra room.
That's cool.
And there's, like, they've had parties in there.
Like a bar?
Yeah,
I've heard about it. It's like
in there.
It's behind a bookcase or something, or behind a door,
That's so cool. Where's my extra room in my cubicle?
Soon. We'll get you a door. But they don't let press, like, into certain parts of the building. Like, they really are restrictive about, like, look, this is for us. It's not for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But they also they've done interviews with Lasseter, and, like, all of his freaking office is full of toys, like all of it. Like,
shirts, so many shirts.
Yeah.
So the shirts he keeps at home.
Yeah, I think so.
In his office is all toys.
So we have Finding Nemo. Of course, I'm super excited for Finding Dory. We'll talk about that next week.
Fish are friends, not food.
I can disagree. Sushi's delicious.
The thing with it's hard to say I'm worried about something with Pixar because it always works out. I mean, there's one particular example about a sequel that didn't work. We'll get to that later. Maybe not in this episode.
But
we're
not going to talk about that this episode.
But I am worried about, they hit on nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. Like, we talk about with Toy Story, like they know how to strike that chord of like, this happened as a human experience, right? I want them to, hopefully they probably will. They've done, like, I know what I'm doing, right? But I hope that they don't rely on like, oh, here's the jokes from the original movie. Remember those? Like, I hope that it's just a new story. It's the same characters and they're telling a new story. And it's not just like, hey, remember that one time when that person said that in the original movie? They said it again.
That's the thing. If you look at the trailers, though, there isn't a lot. I don't want to talk too much about Finding Dory right now. We'll say that next week. But if you look at the trailers, there's a lot of new characters. There's not a lot of old characters other than Nemo and Marlin. And Dory, obviously.
What I noticed in Monsters University, which I'm sure we'll talk about the next episode, is it's not they don't necessarily make direct callbacks. Like, they don't say like, oh, that person said it again, but they make little tiny references, like
they're masters of subtlety. Yeah.
So like something somebody said in the last movie is actually a poster in this movie.
Right.
Something, the way that this person looked in this movie, well, they look like that because this happened. So like, it's just subtle. Yeah, exactly. It's not like, oh, they said this or they said that. No, it's just little teeny tiny like random callbacks.
That's why they're having fun. They're having fun making these movies. Like, and it comes through in every single one of their movies, because they even make fun of themselves even within their own movie.
Yeah.
There's some Easter eggs that actually reflect it's not even, it's a callback to their own movie within their movie.
Yeah.
So they're just always having a good time. It constantly feels that way. Now, granted, I'm sure there's times when people get yelled at Pixar, but it doesn't feel like that when you watch the movie. It feels like everybody there is sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, definitely.
Which, by the way, this is what I hate about Pixar, and this is just my get off my lawn, okay?
Why are you so good all the time?
Yeah. So
screw up like somebody else, like me, every once in a while.
So within the tiki community,
I
drink a lot of rum. I guess, I like tiki mugs. The Pixar store, the on-site employee store, they actually have really cool tiki mugs made specifically for the people who work there. And usually after a certain movie, everyone will get one. So there was one made for Inside Out.
Yeah.
There was one made for Toy Story, and there's another third one. But you can't buy it
unless you work there.
Yeah, unless you work there. And then even there, on site, they're $25. On eBay, they're over $600.
Well, that's why.
That's not fair. I just want a Toy Story tiki mug.
If anybody that works for Pixar, can you please buy my wife a...
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right, speaking of,
sorry,
so the next movie.
Next movie's
big in my heart. It's one of my favorites.
Literally big on your heart.
I got the shirt right here. It's The Incredibles.